Coming to this point now, how did you go about getting guests to come into your show? You know, the people that flocked in. I mean, did you meet them one-on-one, or how did you do it? Even the governor came, I heard. That's a loud, big one.
Yeah, big, and I feel so honored. It's his first ever radio interview since he became governor. So,
Wow.
yeah, he hasn't been to any radio station.
How did you do it?
He had to take a world record for him to come.
It's fine.
Damina he took it easy.
Okay.
He has fired a lot. Mr. Exto, if you guys listen to Mr. Exto, if you are not awake that time, you must have missed it. So Mr. Exto joined me about 11 p.m. and we talked until 2 a.m.
Wow.
I had to Google how do you prepare, for 5 sleepless nights.
Wow.
AI will first tell you, why do you want to stay up? So sleep comes. Sleep will hit you now. Like, it comes with bullion van, It go knock you around that kind 2 a.m., 4. And then when you escape it, around 5, it will come again and knock. How far? So the first 12 hours, I went straight. So people who do marathon, they usually do 4 hours and then break for 20 minutes. Me, I did 12 hours. I think, was it 12 or 10 hours? Did I do 10? 10.
Stretch.
I did stretch, man. Because
I already used to talking.
I wanted to compile that rest.
Hello, guys. This is Candid Corner on N65. We're glad to be in your faces again, but this time around with something special. We have a guest in the house, and it's not all the time, it's not every time you get to see someone like this. On the 1st of May, 2025, by 4 a.m. to be precise, something big happened, not just in Akwa Ibom State, but in Nigeria as a country. This man ventured into a place where only few feet have tried. He didn't just venture, he went there and shook something that was already there. He broke a world record, a standing record of the longest talk show by a single individual that was formerly held by a Japanese at 88 hours. He stood to break it at 100, but instead he added what we call Jara. In the house, we have someone that he doesn't really need much introduction. He's someone that he has taken so much award that both nationally and indigenously that I think at some point he got bored of getting awards. This is a man that his voice sells more than oil. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in the house Mighty George.
What a rush.
What a rush.
Welcome to the house, sir.
Thank you. Which kind of oil are you talking about?
Crude oil.
Is it palm oil or
So the crude oil.
crude oil? We all know how important crude oil is. But thank you very much. I'm honored to be here.
Someone once told me, a lady, she said that she can listen to your voice all day long and do nothing.
Do nothing.
I don't know if it's a baritone. She said you're a smooth talker. Maybe that's why you could get listeners glued to the radio for hours without flinching. Well, you're welcome again once again.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. I'm getting used to being interviewed now. Me, I'm the interviewer.
Yes.
So now I'm the interviewee. So it's a great time. And it's a wonderful rush.
Okay, so let's get it
Wonderful.
going, Mr. George. Can you tell us who you were before the marathons and the microphones?
My name is George Iniabasi Essien. Of course, I studied social studies. I have a diploma in history from University of Ibadan and then University of Calabar, where I did a program. And so I bagged the degree in social studies. And then since then, my life has In fact, since I've left school, my life has just been revolving around media. So much so that the first time I stepped into a radio station was in 2005, which is when I started my radio career.
That was in Abuja, right?
That was in Abuja.
Okay.
The station was called Crowder Radio, which later turned to Love FM, that has lots of branches around. And since then, it's been no looking back. I actually went there as a DJ. But they just told me, we love your voice, so can you do this? I said, why not? Anything to stay in a radio station, And fast forward to today, 2 decades later, I'm here doing the same thing and even more as well. But of course, it's been revolving around radio, media. I've done TV. I've consulted for brands, I was once, of course, communications director for one of the big betting companies in Nigeria. I've worked for a number of media houses. And before I came to Uyo in 2018, late 2017, to join Comfort FM. And of course, Comfort FM I've gained from Comfort FM. Comfort FM has gained from me. And it's been like that leading up to the 27th of April when I decided to embark on that very crazy journey. And today, I'm glad I did.
Almighty, you're someone people say over the last 20 years, the 2 decades you spent in the radio sector, you've achieved, well, I say everything, because you have national awards under your belt. Indigenous awards?
Everything, except money.
What propelled you to undertake this challenge? Did you just do it out of boredom because maybe nothing excites you again? You wanted something challenging. What propelled you into this?
20 years in one industry is not a mean feat. It's not beans. So I wanted to do something to mark 20 years on radio. And so I decided to go the extra man. Instead of just going to radio and announcing it, 2 decades, Even the 2 decades, people will even ask you, what do you have to show, But I know what radio has done for me, It's put food on my table. By the grace of God, we've built house with radio. We've traveled to over 20 countries, Europe, America, Asia, Africa, because of this same radio, especially on the sports side, because I'm first and foremost a sports journalist, so I later had to diversify. And that's the beauty of the thing, of radio.
But
you need to know how to do many things.
With these, people will still want to differ, saying radio doesn't really pay that much.
Yeah, it doesn't pay, but it depends on what you do with it.
Okay.
And you need to glamorize your own radio, like what I've done now. Of course, the value has gone up. Everybody knows this is a world record breaker, so I'm sure even my employers are going to have a hard time now.
Okay, so talking about breaking records, I think by now Guinness should probably be tired of Nigerians since Hilda did it. So I just want to know, has this always been on your bucket list?
Yeah.
Is this something that was spontaneous, or you just came to a point like, Hilda did it, of course I can do it?
Well, first of all, Nigerians are the least undertakers of Guinness World Records.
But there's been a splosh since Hilda did it.
Go and look at Indians, look at Europeans. They're always, and you can always invent things and register it on the world records. Longest time that both of us can stare at each other. Some people have probably not done it, but Nigeria, yes, of course. Hilda opened the eyes and all of that. But interestingly, before Hilda, I'd always thought about having some global reckoning. Like he did say, of course, I've had national reckoning. I've been respected as best sports journalist, best presenter, all of those things in my field. But to go global, obviously, you have to do things like this. So I've always thought about it.
Okay.
I always thought about being the best of the pack, and especially when I moved to Akwa Ibom State, where some of my colleagues were like, are you going to retire in that place? Yeah. And I keep telling people in Akwa Ibom, you actually don't know me. It's people in Lagos. I was so big in Lagos in sports because I was working for an all sports station. So people love sports.
That was Brilla, right?
Brilla FM. So my shows were 7 a.m. to 9. And you know that's peak period, in Lagos. So imagine I was talking 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. every day for like 4 years. You know, so I was already big in Lagos. And so when I came here, it was like, Mighty George is missing. But I think I kept doing things. And that's why I keep doing things to let people know in Lagos, I see deal. Now maybe this. So that's why some people are not surprised about when they hear me win awards. They say, oh, okay, it's George. It might just be surprising to some people here, but I have put in a lot of work, in this craft. Learning on the job, growing, just trying to be the best. And my international exposure also has helped me a lot. That's why I tell some of the younger ones coming up, don't be an internet journalist. Don't be an internet presenter. Whether you're an OAP, you're a podcaster, try and be at the scene of events. So that when you come to the microphone, you talk with experience. And that's what I bring to the table. Don't just sit down and everything you read from the internet. So whether it's your money you want to use and go for that trip or be at that place, you try and do it so you can get to this level. So I've always wanted global reckoning, and it only just heightened as, I approached 20 years and I said the time to do it is now.
Mighty, you spent, speaking of Brilla FM, you spent 7 years in Brilla, right?
Yeah, thereabout.
And at the time, you attained the rank of a manager.
Yeah, I was a manager program
during the marathon. I was reading the comments. Someone said something. The person was like, Brilla was your big break. Is that true?
Yeah, of course. I think it was Brilla now. Because Brilla, if you work with Brilla, you're popular. The only sports station. I mean, I spent close to 8 years at Habana. So people spend even 4 years and they're out. I left because I wanted to, circumstances happen. And Brilla is a place where we always call it a school. We've had people who had come before me and left. Bimbo Adiola, Jonathan Hansen, Jide Alabi, even Tokwe Brown. The late Tokwe Brown was in Brilla FM. So they come and go. So we always see Brilla as a school because there's a level you reach. You can't, when you attain some sort of a height as an OAP, you don't have to compete with the brand. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. Yeah. Like your studio now, you become so big, and then maybe you're competing with your brand, with the studio. When they mention you, they are mentioning the studio. When sponsors are coming, they are meeting you instead of the company. Like people coming to George instead of Comfort FM. But I mean, in this day, it's not an issue. At the time, I think that Larry also saw it as an issue. When you are the biggest brand in Brilla FM, there's always a problem.
But you ought to have seen you as an asset instead of an issue.
You ought to have seen everybody else, to even Bimbo Adiola, everybody as assets. But when you become big in Brilla, maybe it's time for you to go. That's usually what it is, because the brands are coming for you. And instead of, talking to the station, they insist that they want you. And they want all their products and all their adverts on your show. And it's rendering the other shows, into the background. So that was it. But I think that he's been able to sort that out right now. At least Femi Raji stayed up to about... Femi Raji spent about 16 years or thereabout, So that was a long time for him. And even during his time, he became media officer of the Super Eagles. That was something that couldn't have happened during my time. If you're in Brilla at that time and you even feature on Super Sports, you're in trouble, So that was it. I mean, but media owners now, I think they're trying to see if you have a big brand. In fact, people now are employing big brands, are even bigger than them.
But right now,
so
what's your relationship with Larry like?
No, it's good. He's always our father, All
right. So how, coming to this point now, how did you go about getting guests to come into your show? The people that flocked in. I mean, did you meet them one-on-one, or how did you do it? Even the governor came, I heard. That's a loud, big one.
Yeah, big, and I feel so honored. He's his first ever radio interview since he became governor. So, yeah, he hasn't been to any radio station.
How did you do it?
He had to take a world record for him to come now. So, I mean, that one, he couldn't just stay out of it because he even said that, his children told him, people were telling him. So, I mean, it was a good platform for him because the interview I had with him was even showcased on national television, most of the things that he said. But yeah, I mean, having been an OAP this long, you should have like a contact. You should have contacts now.
Okay, like the senators that came in.
Yeah, of course, we have a contact list. We have numbers. We have contacts. People that we want, we can get them. Yeah, if we want. Like, I tried to get the governor, so hopefully I think maybe he received that letter. But even if he received the letter I sent even before then, you can't dictate the governor's movements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But most of the other people, we sent letters. Before the marathon, we listed out the guests that we wanted. We listed the topics and we got the guests. Some came, some didn't come. At the end, there was even a rush for some that didn't come. They now wanted to start coming now, So that's it. You must have.
You had about 80 interviews or 70, right?
Yeah, I think it was 70. The target was 100, but we got 70, close to 80. We filled in the gap with other things, So, but as an OAP, as a presenter, you should always try to get contacts of
of those interviews. Which one was kind of engaging? That actually helped to keep you awake. I know some of them would have been boring. I needed something to pump you up.
Yeah, the plan was to get all of them very engaging. Yes, of course, some of them were, Yeah, well, I would say boring because they'll be listening now. Okay. I won't consider their interviews boring. I think they didn't do enough to ginger me.
How was the session with Damina? Was it fired?
Damina he took it easy.
Okay.
He has fired a lot now. So what does he want to fire that is new? But I had to go deep, ask him about, who are you behind the pulpit and, behind the toga of a pastor. So he had to lay bare, told me about his family and things like that. Damina's interview was great. Mr. Exto, if you guys listen to Mr. Exto, if you are not awake that time, you must have missed it. So Mr. Exto joined me about 11 p.m. and we talked until 2 a.m. Wow. And many people said that this is the first time they're hearing. It was, we're going to have to replay and put all those things back on my social media. Yeah. Exto was literally just telling me how he had to be a tout sometimes and had to get boys to beat people up because of piracy. Because he was one of those who was fighting against piracy at that time. Those days it was CDs and all those things now. So people, if you release a song, before you know, Alaba don't carry and make like 50,000 copies. And you are there. Meanwhile, you came to give them the CD, you say, I'm going to help me run this matter. Next thing, you are seeing the CD everywhere. Meanwhile, they told you, I want this your song, not straight. You don't go sell. And they're making money off you. And how he had to get boys. One day, they went to ransack one place. He said, look, that he has fought, not just fought verbally, he has fought physically for, artists in this country. And then there was street lawyer who came and told us that every landlord is owing their tenant. Imagine that kind of stuff. It was at night, I had to wake up. I said, what do you do? And he brought actually the rules, I think it was laws of Akwa, that the highest rent that any tenant is supposed to pay for a 3-bedroom flat is about 1,500 naira. That it has not been amended since. And then he showed evidence, and people were like,
so what's going on here?
So everybody let's our money. And, we had the relationship coach, Joe John Imoita, the wife of Dr. Imoita, who is the lecturer of public admin at Akwa Ibom State University. By the way, the fitness sessions were also great. In the mornings, that one was a strategy to also keep me awake. So between 6 and 7, we do workouts, and all of that. So Too numerous to mention.
At some point,
tourism telling us that we have 76 tourism sites in Akwa Ibom.
Akwa Ibom, yeah.
I mean, I was wondering where they are.
So Mighty Joe, walk us through. How did you prepare for something physically and mentally demanding such as this?
Yeah.
Walk us through your preparation process.
Yeah, of course. I went online, obviously. I mean, this is a digital age. You first find out. I had to Google, how do you prepare, for 5 sleepless nights.
Wow.
I will first tell you, why do you want to stay up? So I did that. Got useful tips. Obviously, you're going to have challenges nutrition-wise. So I got what to eat. I wasn't, before I went into, I'm tempted to say went into the house. The Big Brother house.
It's actually the house.
Before I went into there, I stopped eating carbs, all those things. I wasn't eating gari, fufu. I wasn't eating starch. I wasn't eating rice, no yam, for, they said a month too, but I know I still slipped in some yam once in a while. But exactly 2 weeks too, I didn't try all of that. I was taking only soup. I was taking only veggies,
cabbages,
fruits,
yeah,
all of that, I was working out. Shout out to Cedar Peg Hotels. I stayed there a week before I got into, to started the attempt. So there they have the spa, the gym, and they gave me special kind of food, any food that I wanted. And the chef was instructed not to give me anything out of the stipulated. He had a list, so I mean, it was great. So nutrition-wise, diet-wise, I worked on it.
And here you are,
and all of that. But I didn't prepare. I don't know how you prepare not to sleep, because sleep comes. Sleep will hit you now. Like, it comes with bullion van, It go knock you around that kind 2 a.m., 4. And then when you escape it, around 5, it will come again and knock. How far? And then that's the time you have to, there are some strategies we use, but...
Well, sometimes you felt headaches, migraines,
No, I had very good health care.
Even with the accumulated sleep hours that you...
Yeah, once I just get out, they know what to give me. Big kudos to the Commissioner for Health, Dr. John Ekem Emmanuel. We had he provided the ambulance and the medical team. So anytime I got out, they were like strapping me up, checking. Are you okay?
So it seemed like you had a lot of support.
I did have,
did
you face a discouragement?
As a what?
As a star, what a rush. Everybody, what a rush.
So, I had all of that. Discouragement, anybody watching me and thinking, I need to go for my own
marathon.
World record attempt. It's expensive. Very, very expensive.
So how were you able to...
We're not talking 10 million.
So how were you able to
health-wise,
financing and sponsorship?
physical-wise,
yeah, financially, you are not, if you have 10 million, just go and buy land instead or do something else, But except you can convince people and get people on your side to let them know that this money, they should give you to go and get one certificate. If not, some people will advise you, like, if people didn't believe that I could do it, I'm sure I would have been turned down. Like,
true.
So what are you doing?
And here you are.
Why are you doing this?
So Mighty, was the financing on state level or just a private sponsorship?
No, this state level. Money the governor promised me, I never see him. I even talk about. So there was, we love the support we got from state, and then the fact that they started turning up, commissioners started turning up. But yeah, we got few supports here and there, hundreds here, there. Wow. People who just put money in the envelope and say, oh, take, or, just say, send me account number. But of course, the biggest support, and why I think we was able to scale through, even when I didn't have that much money, was because of my boss, Senator Ifyong Bob.
Wow.
The fact that he was already sold out to it. I've been gonna clap for him.
Good
You know? Now him now. The fact that he agreed in the first place that we can do this. Said, okay, go ahead. Let's do it because it's creative. I showed him the bill. He said, I hope I'm not going to pay this. I said, we'll look for sponsors. So he appreciated the fact that I was able to get some sponsorship, but he augmented, made sure, first of all, that the camera crew did not give me any issues. They did their job. You know, that one's going to take a lot of money as well. Streaming and recording with about 3 or 4 cameras, you know. So we got that support. He cushioned it. We had to have food for the crew. The crew was about 50 thereabout. Camera crew alone, you know, they will shift. They're about 10. And then timekeepers and independent witnesses are about 31. You know, then you have security, you have, you know, welfare. I think we're about 60, the whole crew, 60, they're about stationed there for like 5 days. And then you have to feed them. You understand? You have to provide everything for them. You will still pay them at the end of the day. You know, so we're talking about, you know, a very expensive venture.
So, Mighty George, how has this affected your career, your personal life? I mean, you're like in everybody's eyes. They want to see. They want what's.
I didn't see any paparazzi when I came out.
Really?
I mean, because if I don't know me, see, no be judge me that.
No.
You know, I know that in other climes, obviously. I mean, what I did was big. I recognized that. People trying, just like this interview now, everybody wants to interview me now. It's not easy, you know. And I think it's just it's a lesson for everyone. When you work hard and when you do something, people would really applaud that, and I really appreciate that. But I'm not letting it get into my head. You know, I'm still looking at the bigger picture. There's a foundation to set up as well. There's my sportscasting academy that I want to revive. You know, I had that at a point in time. I practically, most of the sports presenters you even here in Akwa Ibom actually went through me. You know, I tutored them at some point. Almost all of them that are doing big today. And not just in Akwa Ibom, across Nigeria as well. Now, stations actually meet me when they want a sports presenter anywhere in the country. That, please, can you help us recommend? So, obviously, because of my time with Brill at that time, some people had passed through me that I can easily recommend. Yeah, so that's that. So there's a lot more to do.
So I mean, career-wise now.
Career-wise, I mean, I haven't got back to the studios.
That's what I wanted to say. Are you going back to comfort, or you're going to? I mean, can he even afford you again? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, looking for trouble. I just told you that my chairman went all out for me. Interestingly, when I interviewed him as well. I interviewed him, asked him about Comfort FM, and then he said something before he left. He said, I can go and take a 1 month break.
Oh, wow.
That I've done well. He's proud of me. You know, thank God he made no mistake, just, you know, doing everything to keep me at Comfort FM. And he can't wait to have me back, if I'm coming back. Oh. So I laughed and I told him, I'll be back, sir. So obviously my employers know that the value is up. And
price went up.
It's gone up. It's gone up. But because my employers helped me to attain this status, I would be very considerate. You know, and go back. I know that the listeners are waiting to hear from me. They haven't heard from me since Thursday.
So you did 105.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what was your most challenging within that 105? At least, let's say the first 24 hours. Was it challenging or it was towards the end?
I think it was in the middle. Because towards the end, you're seeing the finish line, so you're already
You just have
up.
to keep pushing.
And, you know, when the caliber of people that were coming, the governor came in the 86th minute or 86th hour. So that's when I had like 14 more hours, to go. So, and he said it wasn't even intentional that he would have come since, but he wanted my power to be drained a bit, and he'll come pump it up. So yeah, he did that. When after the governor came, I was just smiling,
I got
because
to know at some point that your mom was also in the house.
my mom was around. My mom was around from day 2 to the end, man. But they kept going to drop her, and then she asked them, "Come and pick me up." So I think it was the second night. First night, I started midnight, with Bush. Energy was up, Patak Babio, Father Bassi. Just kept the energy up. I had sports. The idea was to put sports at night before, but I said no. Let's put it at a regular time, which is morning. So night we still had the relationship talk, and then we had the gist. We now started talking with people in the US because it's going to be afternoon that time, so it was very easy for them. So we're talking with people abroad at that time, which was good. So the first 12 hours I went straight. So people who do marathon, they usually do 4 hours and then break for 20 minutes. Me, I did 12 hours. I think, was it 12 or 10 hours? Did I do 10? 10.
Stretch.
I did stretch, man. Because I wanted to compile that rest time. So with every hour, it's 5 minutes. So at 10, I had, that was 40 minutes, yeah. So I had 40 minutes. So I would just stretch. So even my team were like, "Oh, now wow, boss is strong." Oh. But they knew that because these are guys who had done this before. They knew that in front, I go jam them. So I did that night. Obviously, I started at night, so I know that night is cancelled. So when I was approaching the next night, which is Monday night, my back started aching. And then, before I started fighting with sleep, and then I took a break again at 5. I thought I had like 30 minutes. Immediately I just stepped out. Next thing, someone just told me, "You have 5 more minutes." I was like, I never even rest. So there was no time to rest. There was a time I said, "You know what, how many minutes do I have accumulated?" They said 25. I said, "Okay, everybody get out of my way." So I just ran straight into my room, switched off the lights, closed my eyes.
Did the sleep come?
So they said I was snoring though. But it was almost immediately they woke me up again. So I snored. So when I got up, I felt a little bit better. But hey, I didn't take caffeine. You can't take caffeine now. You can't take coffee.
Were they testing you?
Obviously Guinness World Record would see you need to, people were always, the cameras were on me. Even when I go for a break, the cameras will be on me too. Because they can't allow you. And even what you're taking on the table, they have to check it out. It must be like in a transparent cup.
So how did
you
guys manage the radio activities while the show was going on?
I mean, it's me now, so we spoke with the independent producers, people who had programs that were going to have to shift their programs.
It's for 5 days.
Yeah, of course. We had that, but we had in-house programs that we had to collapse. Okay. That's in-house. There was no problem now. So we spoke with them. We have one that features every day. So that was the one that was most affected. The other ones just once. So I think about 10 programs were affected. And yeah. They knew that it was for a good cause.
Yeah. So I think what everybody will be itching at this point to hear is, has Guinness reached out to you?
Oh, so this is how it works. They have already reached out. They reach out. Any attempter, before you even go for the attempt, they are the ones that say, "Oh yeah, you can go," and they give you the rules and regulations while you're going on. Yeah, they are supposed to be following as well. Of course, they are following to know. And that's why we live streamed it so that they will also see. So what happens is that after the attempt, you are now going to send all your evidence, your documentation, the timesheets. Obviously, they can easily just say, "Oh, we saw him, he has done it, take your certificate." But the timesheets especially, because the timekeepers and the adjudicators are their eyes and ears, since they cannot make it down. And I don't think even Hilda couldn't get any of them down because the bill to get a Guinness World Record representative, to the last we checked, almost like 40 million to get 2 of them down, put them in hotel, flight and all of that. So what they say is you would have to give us timekeepers. We will certify, and this is what you're supposed to do. So we're in the process now of sending all that documentation to them, because we can say 105 hours. They might come and give us something else. You get it is. They know how they are.
Those timekeepers, they're Nigerians.
Yes, they are Nigerians. They're always from the
But certified
country.
by Guinness.
Yeah, of course, you have to send the names and all of that, so they just approve and all
So there
of
are
that.
people whose profession is just timekeeping.
No, they will be trained.
Okay.
But in this case, the guys that I use, some of them had already done this before, because it's safe to use people who have done it before. We've had about maybe 3 of thereabout attempts in Akwa Ibom State, right? We've had some successful, some not, and contrary to what people even think, the one that was not successful in quotes is because the guy did not submit.
Oh, okay.
So was it
The John Obot. Yes, he didn't submit. At the end of the thing, he didn't, whatever reasons best known to him, he didn't submit his evidence. So what they are going to show, what's on my dashboard now is upload the evidence. So once that's done, my team is confident, and my team and I are confident that we will get the time that is respectable. That we have broken the record is, of course, known and is certified, but we need to be awarded a particular time and a certificate. So
I hope they do that
what-
very soon.
we hope so.
Okay, so what personal insights or let me say growth have you gained by pushing yourself to this extent?
No, it's been
Like, are you
It's
a
been-
superstar or
yeah. I mean, superstar. Popular popper. We are still looking for money.
George, I don't agree with that.
We are looking for money. If not person like this, we
Like
do
him.
am for another place now. Did you see a Range Rover outside?
You don't need to
No, but this has taught me perseverance, tenacity. I mean, you're looking at a goal. I remember when they put 1 hour, and my social media team went to celebrate 1 hour gone.
only one?
I just looked at it and I said, God, how am I going to 1 hour out of 100? So at the point I stopped looking at the time, but the time was just right beside me. I had to just glance at some point. So it's taught me, determination. If you have a goal, just keep going for it. At this point, although we had fights with my team, I told them one time that, what if I just rest? Let's forget this thing. I can't kill myself. They said you can't, though. Because that's why you brought us here. So if you overshoot your rest time, you would have to start again. It is that bad. So that's why every second I had to be seated there before the clock struck that my time was up, because every second, if I had gone after that, I'm in trouble. I'm starting again. And they said they're not going to be there with me when I'm starting again. That I'm doing it on my own. So that fear, it's good though. Fear of failure too. It helps people too. Fear of failure helps.
Yeah,
and
mighty.
I actually didn't want to fail, so it kept me pushing. And I'm not going to try and stay awake again for 5 nights, but I know that I'll be determined, to just achieve my goal. Anytime.
So when you came out now, how long have you slept? Like maybe you should sleep for 3 days or 2 days. Like
I'd already adjusted to staying awake at night. I had to buy sleep tabs at some point.
Your body at some point adjusted to the
It
whole.
adjusted, and people were expecting that I should sleep for 1 week.
yeah, because you lost sleep.
Mighty Social. Before your era on radio, back then, the prominent sports journalists we celebrated, and were people like Paul Bassi.
Yeah.
Paul Bassi conquered Nigeria.
My boss.
Yeah. Then you came along, and I would say personally, you achieved a lot at Brilla.
Yeah.
Experience and other things that you have. When you left Brilla, you would have gone anywhere, chosen any? Because I know there would have been other radio houses that were like itching to have you.
Yeah.
Why Comfort FM?
But I didn't leave. I came to Comfort FM 5 years after I left Brilla, or 4 years.
I just wanted to come back for more.
4 years after I left Brilla. So during that period, I was
working also.
I was making some crazy money, man.
As an independent.
Yeah. So I felt free. I was trying to enjoy my freedom. You know, it's not like working for employers is not good. But at that point, I took a step back and said, you know what can I do on my own? So even when on Nigeria Info, which I did a program called So You Think You Know Football, it was a game show. It was being sponsored by NairaBet. I hope I can mention their names. Yeah. So that relationship with NairaBet grew into something else that I now became like their spokesperson. That's the sports betting company I told you that I worked with. So I walked up to them, walked up to one of their offices after I left Brilla, and said, "Hi, I'm Mighty George. I want to do this. I want to do a show, this, that." I said, "Okay." The guy that was there said, okay, no problem. I don't know. I think he didn't know me, or he had heard about me, but, he just said he would tell his boss. So when the boss came, or when they told the boss, he said, "What? Who? George? Where is he? Let him come." And he said he wanted to confirm if I was a person. I said, okay. And then that's the first time I saw 12 million inside my account. I said, "Oh yeah, now go and do the program now." So I remember we were always giving out money, as in a show that was giving out 20,000 every day. So it became very popular back then. So I was with Nigerian Football. I was doing my own thing. And in fact, they even gave me extra time again, and they tried to get me to work as a full-time staff. But just leaving Brilla at that time, I needed space.
I mean, George, your price had already gone up way back, not just today.
It had. So I went to
Comfort lure you?
Okay, so after Nigeria Info, after doing my stuff in Nigeria Info, I think I traveled out a bit. I was in one country like that. After World Cup, I just stayed back in that place. I think that was in Brazil in 2014, 2015. So then I came back. At that time, Max FM, which is Nigeria Info. I didn't do that. That was during the period of the elections in 2015. So Max FM, which was Radio Continental then, they were trying to just rebrand, get things up, and then the next thing they just found out that I could be available. They reached out to me, and then I joined Radio Continental as a head of sports, and I was earning. It was crazy, because you know who owns Max FM, right? You know, right? Okay. If you know the people that own it, you know, save money. Now then get Nigeria. So I named my prize, and it was massive, and then we went on like that. 2015, 2016. 2017. I started hearing about Comfort FM even in 2016. Yes, because Jones Hussein, Citizen Jones, was consulting for Comfort FM, and he was also working with TVC and Radio Continental. So he was always telling me that there's a new station that is opening up in your state, or that the man is one senator, all those things. I was like, okay, no while, sir. Yeah, maybe they see how they go. See that they say we should get somebody, that they need somebody from here. So the toasting was on for like a year, like almost a year, Eventually, and I said, okay, what's up? They also go. I came in for a very good price. I still think I'm the highest paid OAP in Akwa Ibom State, and the senator has done a lot to keep me. I've been off. I went at some point when I joined Vandreza FC, but we had a good deal when I came back again. So, so I came in, plus I had one relocation fee again that was in millions. So it was, and I also wanted to see what my state was like and what could really happen.
If not because you just narrated this, most people think, from the comments I've been reading, most people think you actually went from Brilla
to Comfort.
No, It was 4 years in between.
So at this point now,
4 years in between.
what next for Mighty George? Are there more records to be broken? More milestones?
What next? But let me go back to work first and see what's up. But I mean, we have collaborations coming up, you know. I'm getting calls. BBC is asking me to do something.
That's big, yeah. They're only asking.
That's massive.
Yeah, they're asking me to do something for them. So, I mean, for you to be able to talk that long, that means
That was why I was asking if you're still going back to Comfort FM.
Yeah, of course, I'm with Comfort FM, but there are collaborations I can do that still with Comfort FM. I mean, at the point when I left Comfort FM, when I was media director for Vandresa FC, I was still on contract basis. So we can always work something out. And I think I'm not going to preempt anything now, in case my guy is watching.
I saw an interview. I saw an interview with these guys.
Anything is going to happen, you know. So anything might happen. But collaborations are there. I mean, in Comfort FM, when I came to Comfort FM, I spoke with the management. I spoke with the senator and said, this is what I do. I'm a sports journalist who travels the world. I go to World Cups. I have never missed a World Cup since 2014. I was there in Russia 2018, Qatar 2022, all the AFCONs. I love traveling. So can I achieve that here? And the answer was yes. And it has been happening. I mean, if I can be in Comfort FM and still do the things that I love doing and still be there in the public space and still have the opportunity to chase a world record in Akwa Ibom, then I would still be loyal to that organization, except it's somewhere that is stifling me. Imagine that I wanted to do this and they said, no, this in his personal glory, go somewhere else. I would have picked the next station and
it wasn't even just personal glory because it brought traffic.
Yeah, it was always
to the station. Yeah,
I mean, behind me was Comfort FM that was showing, and people were knowing Comfort FM for the first time. I mean, you know, and for those 4 years, I was inside, but I heard people call and say, I've been on this dial.
Like what
Sunday.
a rush dial.
I've been on this dial since Sunday. George, what are you doing? You've not allowed us to even sleep. You know, things like that. So if I can be in a place that affords me the opportunity to do this, and that's how it is these days. You don't need to tie someone down, especially us that are creatives. We are creatives. We need to explore. We need to do things. As I am now.
I saw what you did on TV on channels when that's a
Kayode. Those are my friends. Jeff, of course, you know, was an OAP, radio OAP in Akwa Ibom before. Jeff, and then Kayode, of course, we attend some of the same workshops together. So, you know, they just wanted to.
Towards the end of that interview, I saw it like they were kind of trying to, it was more like toasting, TV toasting. But they told you vibe on radio. We want to hear you vibe.
Yeah. So it's great. So I'm going back to work. That's the first thing.
Okay.
From work, things will happen. And
okay, George, there is this.
We'll be able to align.
If you know the story of Frank Edoho, he went from Calabar, broke into Lagos.
Metro.
Yeah, then there was this song Timaya did years ago. He said, all the way from Port Harcourt, I break into their Lagos market. Any plans for you to
break into
Lagos? Going back.
Not going back.
That's the thing. That's how it has been. Yeah. People have been saying back to Lagos. But I was in Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
You conquered Lagos.
I don't finish.
You said you're going to BBC, right? So
I didn't say
we should
fly
and drag this stuff even on and on, but we still have to wrap it up.
That's right.
So finally, for me, right, like Patricia, should I
finally
like should I pray that you go again, maybe 200 hours? Are you planning on
maybe something else? You know, people are quick to pick up something. I might say I want to do something before you know I'm doing, but the one I would love to do is sports, something related to sports. Because even when I told my colleagues in the sports field, they were like, is he going to strictly sports? I said, no, it's general. So I might do something that has to do with sports. And
looking at you.
Yeah, TV, right?
Yeah, TV. People are predicting TV for you.
Okay.
I mean, I think a lot of people like your face. They've not been seeing your face. You've been
They
hearing
just
something
hear the
on
voice.
the
This is
radio.
my wall
And
face.
they'll be hearing what
right, guys,
so I think
we're
you like
wrapping
to see
it
me
up
now.
here.
So my
He
just
has
my,
his own finally.
sorry, my parting. I want to say that I'm really inspired by you, and I want to say that you didn't just break a record. You broke through fear. You broke through fatigue. You broke through doubt. And your story reminds us that limits only exist when people are not determined to go after it. Because if you go after it, you break it. So this is a story that will sell to everyone.
Thank you.
Let's all go out for our dreams, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm inspired that I've inspired people, motivated people. I've had people who called during that time to even cry on radio at that time, watching me, go through sleepless nights. They're really with me, and if I have an opportunity, I'll do it all over again.
All right. So, guys, thank you very much for sticking with us for this podcast. And Mighty, we hope to have you on this podcast.
Definitely.
Can you
So that you'll inspire us. I
Can
mean,
you pay?
no, the thing is that they've been seeing your face at the back, like
Okay,
just your
so we
voice.
need to
So
be talking,
with
right?
this, yeah, they'll be seeing more of your face.
Yo, so
and
I hear
your
that I
voice.
might be starting a podcast soon here. So
That's good. That's good.
All right. Thank you, guys. Mighty George, thank you for coming around.
thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you
Rich.
for having me. Yeah.
Congratulations. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.